Welcome to Hidden Drams, where we talk about whiskey that you probably will not be able to get your hands on, but we think it's important that you know about. I'm Daniel Whittington. I'm a chancellor at Wizard Academy and Whiskey Marketing School. And today's bottle is a gift from Paul Nimmons, who sent it even against my protests. Actually, no, it's because he's a super kind and gracious human being. And here's the thing he didn't know. We've done Rocknar quite a bit. I love Rocknar. We got like 6 bottles in the vault, and they were all given by Brandon Elliott, who sent like a whole case or brought a whole case of Rocknar, which is a distillery up in Minnesota. And then Michael Schneider, who's a Somm and one of the students here at Wizard Academy, he donated money so that we could buy Far North whiskey. But I just can't get it here in Texas. So I have his money, and I'm like, hey, as soon as I can, I'm going to get my hands on some Far North, and I'll name you for it. And so even though I'm drinking Far North for the first time in several months, maybe years on camera, this is a bottle Paul Nimmons gifted. And Michael, I promise, I'm going to still find a way to get my hands on Far North. It just won't beat this one. So I'm looking forward to these guys because I am a big fan of Far North Distillery. And that is because they are not screwing around. They take things very seriously. They have a farm. It's an old farm. They farm all their own grains except for the barley that goes into their mash bills. They're doing single varietal rye, the way that like Waterford is doing single varietal barley. And then they're turning it into unique rye whiskey. They're way the heck up in northern Minnesota, right on the edge of North Dakota. They're about 30 minutes drive from the border of Canada. I think the northernmost distillery in the lower 48. And so everything is theirs from the farm and growing the things all the way through. And not only that, they don't just say farm to glass, farm to glass. They also give you all the details that you could possibly want to know about how they made the thing. And just like Waterford. And I love that so much. So even on the bottle itself, it says, this is Musketeer, which is the varietal of rye, I guess it is. Malted and normal. Open pollination for the farm. Seed color green. The yield was 60 bushels per acre. And then over here, they planted this rye September 2020. They harvested August 2021. They distilled December 2021. And they bottled in August 2023. So it's almost 2 years old. Woo! Man! Okay, there it is again. So this is not for everybody. Far North is not for everybody. This is not your crowd pleaser, your easy drinker. This is for the people who really want high drama, really interesting, really complex. For one thing, a lot of the whiskey they release is a little bit on the younger side, which pushes the grain notes forward and the fermentation notes, which if you're trying to highlight the varietals of grain, makes sense. Waterford's doing the same thing, where you have like a bit younger whiskey and the grain notes themselves carry a lot of the flavor profile. On the nose, this is all of the baking cabinet spices mixed with wood oil. And I mean like open up a cigar box, not the cigars, the damp wood of a cigar box, which is typically cedar, mixed with sort of like an oil varnishy note. So maybe like Spanish cedar mixed with cinnamon and cloves. Maybe a little nutmeg. Wow, it's really sweet, but it's not like candy sweet. It's like pastry baked goods sweet on the nose. So they said originally this grain was bred for use in Western Canada. It's taller than your modern rye grain, and it's more susceptible to lodging, which is, I know lodging from corn. So if you get really tall corn and then the stalk snaps below the ear and it drops the head down in, if it doesn't die but keeps growing, or sometimes it'll die, it makes it a pain in the ass to harvest. And it can also kills and then rots, you know. So lodging is just when the grain stalk breaks and doesn't stay up with all of the top grains. And you'll end up with loss when you're harvesting because of that. But it's tough. Rye grain is tough. It can handle the winter. and not many grains can. So that's a thing. Ah, that is way softer than I would ever have imagined from the nose. The nose is high drama, high complexity, beautiful rye notes, but it's not astringent, it's not licoricey, it's not eucalyptus, not any of the things that I dislike about rye. If I had to pick maybe one of my favorite distilleries focused on rye, on making really great rye as like a priority, it's probably going to be Far North. I think they're doing great things. And they seem like the kind of people I'd really like to hang out and talk with about whiskey. They gave, there's got to be more. Now there's some almost fruity notes coming through that are almost like peaches. But it's sweeter than that. Not sweeter than that, it's darker than that. But it's tangy, sour almost, like a sour fruit. Like when you bite into it, like that almost has like a, ooh, that's a little underripe, you know? Oh, it smells great. Here's all the details they gave. This is hammer milled on site. They mash and ferment on site. I did a lot of water on that. I don't know if you saw that. That was not a drop. I might need to dump that and start over. Oh, it really opened up the nose, though. It made it a little bit more grain forward and a little bit more wood varnish forward. They open top ferment, which allows for wild yeast to sort of interact with things, too. 4 to 5 days. That's a great, long, meaty fermentation. Give you a lot of flavors. It's distilled on a 500-gallon hybrid pot still column top. Double distillation. And then they aged it for 18 months in 15-gallon oak barrels from Black Swan Cooperage, which is also in Minnesota. Yeah, that was way too much. Oh! Just for the sake of giving it a fair shot, let's add the right amount of water. I was talking while pouring, and that was a mistake. Should have been focused, and I should have done this. When you have a no dropper, it's nice to just use the cap of a bottle. It works real well to give you controlled increments without risking it over the glass, which I should have done. Hey there, that's still kept. Now it's almost cherries. No, not cherries. Something else. It is sweet, but it's still herbal, still grain. That softened. No, way better without water. So it comes in 94, 47% alcohol. That's definitely where it's at its best. I ruined it with water. That was a mistake. All right, I love these. I love getting to talk about the craft guys. And thank you, Paul Nimmons. I would say the rye, 4 out of 5 for drama and complexity. You as a person, 3 out of 5, wouldn't change a thing. And I'm really glad you're here. Cheers to you. Only Paul's going to get that joke. Oh. Like and subscribe.